Hey, it's Professor Gugis, and I'm here to do a brief video about the movie industry circa 2024. Although, honestly, this could be said about movies for any time in the past 15 years, and to be perfectly honest, it's most likely to be accurate going forward into the future. So, what do I want to say about movies? Movies aren't movies anymore. I should say they're not just movies. So the first point I wanted to get at is that movies are not just made as movies anymore. What does that mean, Professor? It means that when you're making a movie, you're not just thinking about how it's going to perform in the movie theater. You're thinking about how it's going to perform in live streaming. You're thinking about how it's going to look when it's played on a smartphone. You're thinking about, can I sell this to an airline to have it as part of their entertainment package while that passengers can access when they're flying across the Atlantic Ocean? So, when you're thinking about making a movie today, you're not just thinking about, will audiences 2 years from now, because it takes a while to make a big blockbuster movie, will audiences a year or 2 years from now go to watch it in a theater? You're thinking to yourself, will they watch it in a theater? Will they stream it at home? Will they Netflix it or whatever at home? Will they watch it on their smartphones? This has an impact on the narratives that you see, as we'll talk about a little bit later on. Movies are also not made for the immediate moment. Movies are not made for the time that they are released. And I should say, not only made for the time that they are released. They are made to be watched years and years down the road, because having people watch it in the movie theaters when it first comes out is a really cool thing. Having people still paying to stream it 10 years from now, know what I'm talking about? Remember, movies are not made by artists. Movies are not made by creative people. Movies are made by big industrial companies that are selling product, and they want to create a return on investment for their investors. Okay? Sometimes art happens, sometimes it doesn't. What's the end result of all of this? We wind up with, how does one put this? Very standard narratives. There's an argument sometimes over whether or not there's only 6 scripts in Hollywood or 7 scripts in Hollywood, or as some people say, there's only 3 scripts with 2 different variations on each. People ask me all the time, Professor, do you watch TV? And I say, no, I've seen it, and it's kind of really sad, but it's kind of true. I try to watch the occasional U.S. sitcom, one of the mainstream broadcast sitcoms, and I look and I'm like, I saw these jokes 20 years ago. They're just, the same thing. Again, when you think about all the economic pressures that come to bear on making a movie, you understand that there's very little room for risk-taking, for experimentation. It's very, very conservative in terms of, we've seen that this narrative works at attracting an audience. We're going to continue to make that same narrative. You and I exist in a world of Marvel movies. It seems like every other week a new Marvel movie comes out. Why? Because God knows how many billions of people have seen the last Marvel movie. And if you look for exceptions to that rule, what you find very quickly is that they're based on intellectual properties that have already proven to be incredibly popular. I can't remember the name of the movie I watched last year, and I thought, wow, here's one that's actually not based on a comic strip. And one of my students pointed out, yeah, it's based on one of the best-selling video games of all time. There was recently a movie came out called Barbie. Okay? It's not like that one just came out of the blue. You may have heard of Barbie prior to the movie. Hey, Want a really good illustration of what I'm talking about? Look up the movie that your professor made, look at what year it was made, and then take a look at whether or not you can still find it streaming or find it on your favorite platform. I'm Professor Gugis. Thanks for watching.